Hello gems and welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting into something that every single one of us struggles with. Worrying about being judged. We've all been there, right? You want to start something new, wear something different, post that video, speak up in a meeting, or even just be yourself more freely. But then that little voice says, "What will people think?" And before you know it, you've talked yourself out of doing the very thing that would have made you happy. So in this video, we're going to unpack why we care so much about what other people think. What happens when we allow fear to control us? And finally, the only way that actually works to stop worrying about being judged. Grab your tea or coffee, settle in, and let's talk. You know, from the time we're little, we're wired to seek approval. We want to make our parents proud, get gold stars in school, be liked by friends, fit in. And that's normal because as humans, acceptance means safety. But as we get older, the same instinct can start to work against us. We begin living for validation instead of alignment. We start measuring ourselves by someone else's standards. What's cool, what's respectable, what's enough. And suddenly, we're editing ourselves to avoid criticism. We filter our personality. We hold back ideas. We avoid trying new things to avoid looking weird or too much, or better yet, not enough. Case in point, I remember a time when I almost did not upload a video that I had worked on for days, just because I thought people would judge my voice or say the topic was silly. I will admit, I have embraced my Southern twang. I sat there second guessing everything, and then it hit me. I was letting imaginary opinions stop me from showing up for something real. Because here's the truth. Most of the time, no one is judging you as hard as you think they are. People are busy living their own lives, dealing with their own insecurities. And the few that do judge, they'll judge anyone. It's not really about you at all. When we constantly worry about being judged, we shrink. We live small, quiet versions of ourselves. We choose comfort over growth, safety over purpose. Think about how many dreams that never got started because of your fear of judgment. Someone doesn't start their YouTube channel because they're afraid people will laugh. Someone hides their art because they do not want criticism. Someone stays in a job they hate because they don't want to be seen as a failure. That fear robs you twice. First, your peace, and second, of your potential. And here's the tricky part. Even if you try to avoid judgment, it still finds you. If you play it safe, people might say you lack ambition. If you take risks, people might call you reckless. You literally cannot win if your goal is to please everyone. So, instead of chasing approval, you have to shift your mind to something that is actually in your control. Now let's get to the heart of it. The only way that actually works is to stop worrying about being judged. Ready? Here it is. You stop giving other people's opinions more power than your own truth. That's it. It's not about pretending that you don't care about what people think. That's unrealistic. It's about rebalancing whose voice matters most. When your opinion of yourself becomes stronger than the opinions of others, judgment loses its power over you. Let's break this down into real practical steps because mindset changes don't happen overnight. Step 1, get clear on who you are and what matters to you. When you know your values like honesty, peace, creativity, or authenticity, you stop needing everyone to agree with you. You start living by your own internal compass instead of external applause. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? What do I stand for? What makes me feel most alive? Once you have those answers, people's opinions can still swirl around you, but they won't stick. Step 2, watch your inner critic. Most of the judgment we fear is actually an echo from our own self-criticism. Sometimes we project it outward, assuming others are thinking what we're secretly thinking about ourselves. So when that voice in your head says, "They're probably judging me," pause and ask, "Am I judging me right now?" Replace the inner critic with a positive, supportive voice. Say to yourself, "I am proud of myself for trying." That small shift builds self-trust. Step 3, practice doing it scared. You'll never completely eliminate fear, but you can stop obeying it. The key is to take action when you feel judged. Girl, post that video. Speak up in that meeting. Wear what you love. Because every time you act in spite of fear, you teach your brain that judgment is not fatal. It's uncomfortable, but it won't destroy you. Over time, that's how confidence is built. Through repetition, not perfection. Step 4, surround yourself with safe people. This is so important. You can't always control critics, but you can choose your circle. Surround yourself with people who cheer you on when you try something new. People who see your efforts as courage, not as something to mock. When you feel that kind of support, the outside noise gets so much quieter. Step 5, remember that judgment is feedback, not a verdict. Sometimes people's opinions can teach us something, but it's up to you to filter what's helpful and what's just noise. Constructive feedback says, "Here's how you can grow." Judgment says, "You're not enough." Learn to tell the difference. Accept feedback that helps you evolve and let the rest go. Here's the mindset I want you to try. Instead of thinking, "They're judging me," try thinking, "They're watching me do what they're afraid to do." Because honestly, most of the time, judgment comes from projection. When people see you stepping out, speaking up, or shining brightly, it triggers their own fears of being seen. And their reaction says way more about them than it could ever say about you. Let me share a story that I think you'll relate to. A friend once told me that she spent years not wearing bright colors because people told her it made her stand out too much. She loved color, but she wanted to blend in. And then one day, she decided to wear a bright yellow dress. She walked into that room, and sure enough, someone said, "Wow, that's bold." But instead of shrinking, she smiled and said, "Thanks. I love it." She told me that that was the first day that she felt free because she realized that being judged didn't hurt nearly as much as holding herself back had hurt all those years. That's what happens when you stop giving judgment power. You get your freedom back. Now listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Even when you grow and gain that confidence, judgment can still sting. We're human. Words can hurt. But the difference is this. When your sense of self is rooted in your own truth, those words don't take root anymore. You can acknowledge them. Yeah, that hurt a little. But then you remind yourself, I'm still proud of who I am. I'm still showing up. And that's power. So here's what I'd like you to take away today. The only way that truly works to stop worrying about being judged is to stop handing out permission slips for people to define you. You get to decide how you see yourself. You get to define what success, beauty, happiness, and purpose mean to you. Let people talk. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think what they will. Because at the end of the day, they don't have to live your life. You do. So the next time you feel afraid of judgment, take a deep breath and say, I choose me. I choose my peace. I choose to live authentically, even if it's not approved by anyone else. That's the real freedom. That's the only way that truly works. If this video encouraged you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder today. Remember, you are worthy, you are enough, and you don't need permission to be who you are. Thanks for watching, gems. I'll see you in the next one.